And we are live. Well, hello, Facebook community. Alejandro Tornato here, coming directly from Beaufort, Georgia. And I want to welcome you to the Friday edition of Alejandro and Bob Unplugged. And of course, I want to bring my colleague and friend, Bob DiGiacomo. Let me see. Let me click on the right button here, and there he is.
Climb every mountain,
Yes.
ford every stream. The hills are alive. Oh,
Well, he's always, you know, he just looked like, I don't know about you, but he looked like a true Sherpa. Now, if you don't know what a Sherpa is, Bob is going to give you the technical definition of Sherpa or Sherpa-ness. Okay, so take it away, Bob.
well, I'm glad you said Sherpa and didn't confuse that with Sherbert, because I wanted you to know that I'm in preparation for what's coming. I've got my cookies ready. I've got my pretzels ready to go. I've got my water all set, because today we're going to be ascending, and of course you've got to have the right things to bring with you when you're planning to make an ascent.
I
And
thought for just a few seconds, I thought that we were going to engage in a working lunch, because I mean, you have all these things, I mean, eating. I don't have anything. I just have only a bottle of water. I mean, nothing to eat. I mean, I never got the right memo.
and looks like some of your water has evaporated. I don't know how you're going to make the journey with just like 2 inches of water.
But remember that 2 inches of water, but this is smart water.
Oh, it regenerates itself.
That's right. This is
Oh,
smart. This
you're
is not any
clever.
water.
You're
This is the
clever.
smart water.
So, of course, any good mountain climber, because I was scanning, where I'm at. I'm on this island, and there's just no mountains around here. But I was visualizing that classic mountain, the one that everybody thinks about when they want to ascend, and that's of course Mount Everest. Now there are other mountains out there, but it's always a question of my asking myself, why am I here, and why do I want to get from here to there?
Well, that's a question. I mean, when I heard you ask the question, why am I here? You know,
Here.
Bob. Yes, I've been asking myself that question for a very long time. I mean, why am I here?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask,
Why
why
am
am
I
I here?
here? And but no, talking a little bit seriously here. Now, for those who are watching us, and for those who are going to get the video recording, there is a question that I want to ask you, because it doesn't matter where you are in your life right now. I'm sure that you had in the past embarked in climbing the Mount Everest of your life, or perhaps you are currently in that mission. I mean, climbing the Mount Everest of your life. Now, if you are, I want to be the first one to congratulate you, to support you, and to encourage you on that climb, because it's not going to be easy.
I'm glad you
But
threw that in.
but as I always say to people, easy is not the way to go. The way to go is to challenge yourself, is to do the difficult things, to engage in the difficult conversations, to do the difficult projects, to do the difficult climbs. Because guess what happens? When you get to the top and when you conquer the summit of Mount Everest, believe me, you accomplish something that many would like to accomplish, but they have not done it. So it's getting to the top that that brings all the satisfaction and the benefits to your life.
So clearly, you've established the point that many have tried. Not everyone has made it. Um, some have permanently not made it,
That's
and
exactly right. Yes.
and some people have had to try several times because, quite frankly, failure is not an option until you decide to give up. But it implies to me that something is going to happen along the way of getting ready. First of all, and before I get into that, some people see Mount Everest or any mountain, and they decide to take shortcuts. So maybe there's a place that they can take an airplane and somehow land it uh, up on the top somewhere. Maybe there's a flat piece of land. Maybe some people decide to take a helicopter and go all the way to the top, and they could say, "Well, I've arrived. I'm there." Yeah, but they took shortcuts, and of course, you can either choose to take the helicopter down, or you'll have to climb down somehow. Maybe another option is to actually get in that airplane and go up those 20, 30,000 feet and jump out with a parachute. Now, mind you, all the tools and equipment you're going to need. That's why I said, I've got my cookies and I've got my water. I don't know what else I'm going to need on this journey, but I imagine it gets pretty cold up there. And it can get very cold when you're up there alone sometimes. So some of those things you have to take into account. And then some people, they kind of cheat a little bit. They wait until somebody goes up there and builds a cable car system that they can just ride the cable car to the top. Where I'm going with this is that you need to have a plan. And isn't the purpose of making this climb in the first place, this ascent, and you got to have a good Sherpa, you got to have a good coach to create the best version of you that you haven't seen yet?
That's exactly right. I mean, that's exactly right. I mean, um, I don't think there may be someone of the 7+ billion people in the planet who think that taking a helicopter ride to the top of Mount Everest and then stepping at the top and saying, "Hi, I conquered the summit of Everest." Well, if that is what you think that is what entails to climb Mount Everest, there's one thing that I can tell you. You are an idiot. That's to begin with. And you have to completely change your thinking paradigm.
Remember, we're a family show, so keep it.
I think that the whole point of climbing Mount Everest or engaging in any challenge in your life is because by doing so, and not by cutting corners and not by taking shortcuts, by actually exerting yourself to the limit of your capability, when you get to the other side of the challenge, whether you conquer the summit, whatever it is that you do, remember that you will not be the same person who started. I have never run, let's say, a marathon, a full marathon, 26.2 miles. Many people, millions of people have done it. I have not been one of them. I have not done it. But I know that if I were to run a marathon and go from the starting line and crossing the finish line, I would not be the same person crossing the finish line as I was when I made my first step at the starting point. And I know that for sure, even if I have not done it. So that is the whole point of doing a challenge and taking yourself to the limit of your human capability and potential.
So let's throw a little history into this, because you speak of the marathon, and truly the marathon comes into play here. Goes back to ancient Greek history. The Greeks had won a battle, the Battle of Marathon. And so they sent this guy to run back to Athens, which was about 20 whatever miles you said it was, to announce and proclaim the great victory that had been won. So they sent this guy. He ran the whole way. He announces the victory, and he keels over and dies right after that. He wasn't ready. He wasn't prepared. Maybe he had a heart attack. I don't know. I don't think they were monitoring the hearts back in those days. But clearly the establishment of a base camp. I mean, if you were to say to me, Bob, what are you going to do today? Well, Alejandro, I think I'm going to go climb Mount Everest. I'll see you later. Am I ready? I need to establish a base camp. I need to, again, provision. And I've just got a call coming in that I need to decline. There we go. Shift always happens. Be prepared for that. So we need to establish a base camp. We need to put preparation in. We need to get tools and equipment. We need to start our training. We need to start our acclimation. Some people can get up and go give a public speech on any particular topic and put no preparation into it whatsoever. Will it be as good as one that you took time to plan and prepare and practice? As you know, from our training, for every minute that we're going to speak in a presentation, we've got to put anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour in for every minute that's involved in our presentation. And so, again, base camp, everything that needs to be done. You know that John always says everything worthwhile is uphill. Well, I'm looking uphill, but I don't know if I've got the right shoes. I have to take into account, okay, what's the temperature down here at base camp? What is it going to be up higher? And while I'm speaking in semantics, okay, you want to be the best that you're going to be at whatever it is you're choosing to do. So I'm here at base camp. What is it going to be when I get to the next level? What is it that I need to prepare for, to bring with me, as an example? And then most importantly, I've got to believe and see myself at that next level, at that next level, at that next climbing has to be done in stage. I don't think that you're going to climb from here to there necessarily all in the same day.
No, and as a matter of fact, just following in what you just said, the most complex and the most complicated the challenge that you want to tackle, um, the more preparation that is required ahead of time uh, to prepare you, to make sure that you cover all the bases for the challenge that is ahead of you. Um, um, if someone comes to me and it says, okay, well, tomorrow I'm going to apply to enter the Olympics in the 100 meters or whatever it may be, and I know that that person, I mean, has been not exercising, has been on a diet of Big Macs for the last 3 years. Then I'm going to say, well, the chances that you are going not to finish the 100 meters, the chances that you are going to even start are less than zero. Less than zero. Because if you want, if you want to compete in the Olympics, you should have started training and preparing since the time you were 5 years old. Okay.
You mean you got to have a plan?
You bet your ears that you have to have a plan, and a very detailed plan. Not only a plan, but you have to have a high degree of self-discipline. Self-discipline. You will not be able to accomplish anything.
And who's gonna help you with that?
Well, you can, if you have problems with that, you can certainly have a coach coming alongside you and giving you clarity and helping you in maintaining focus on the goal that you want to achieve. Okay, because some people they want to achieve a goal like climbing Mount Everest. But you know what happens? There are two things that are required. First of all, you need to be physically, bodily, physically fit for the challenge ahead, because it would require a lot of your physicality to climb to the top of Mount Everest. But secondly, your mindset, your thinking has to be fit as well. Because remember one thing, there's going to be a time that your body would say, it's enough.
Yeah.
Forget about it. I don't want to go a single step forward anymore. This is too difficult. This is too cold. I cannot even breathe because there's lack of oxygen up here. This is it for me. So at that point in time, when the body wants to give up completely and leaving you isolated there, that's when the mind takes on and it says, hey, listen, your body, this is not it. This is not the time to say I cannot. This is the time to keep making the next step. And so when the body gives up, is the mind that kicks in and takes you all the way to the summit.
So what you're establishing here is the fact that, okay, we've got the base camp, we've got the plan in place, we've got the coach, we're taking things in stages, and so we realize that the climb is going to be done in a series of stages because we've got a plan. And now the plan can be modified because along the way we're starting to gain momentum. But always noticing, and you implied this, the air is going to get a little thinner the higher you go. So you got to make sure you take oxygen with you. And oxygen, as we're comparing and contrasting this to climbing a mountain, but we're also comparing and contrasting this to anything that you set your mind out that you want to do, even if it's at sea level. The planning phase is still the same, but you're gaining momentum and realizing that depending upon the time of year, you may be slipping on ice. You may find a rock that's loose, and just as you go to grab it, it comes loose, and you take a little bit of a fall backwards, or maybe you didn't bring enough rope and those things, pitons or whatever they're called, that you got to hammer into the rock to put the rope and support you. Sometimes you're going to fall, and what has happened invariably is that one person's falling has taken the whole team down a notch. So acclimation is going to be so important. This is what I've just heard you describing, that there are going to be challenges along the way, and that one cannot anticipate doing everything immediately if you want to have long-lasting value.
Yes, and not only that, Bob, but um, concentrating in a climb, in a climb of a mountain, um, and trekking up the mountain. Um, there's one more thing, one more aspect, and is the fact that there are going to be stretches of climb where you have a leader climbing, and the other people a little bit down below, and you are literally putting your life in the hands of another person.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens, even before you get to that point, when you are perhaps in the planning stage, when you are in recruiting the team that is going to take the trip, at that stage, you better be absolutely sure who are the people that you are going to make the trip with, because you have to be sure that when the time comes that you're putting your own life in their hands and in their ability to do something, you want to be sure that those people are able to do it, and very confidently to do it, and very skillful at doing it. You don't want someone who says, okay, I'm just going to go up the mountain, and do you know anything about mountaineering? Oh no, I just read an article last week. Okay, you don't want that person to be with you.
So your career choice can have a major impact on the people that you're working with as part of that team. Together, everyone achieves more.
Sure.
And you're going to want to ensure that you find the best Sherpa, because anybody who's made it to the top and successfully has made it back down, already he's got a positive check
That's right.
to go by. So as we're getting to the top, and I want this to be really, really well understood, is getting to the top the end of the journey?
Certainly not. I mean, that is, I think, in my opinion, and a lot of people perhaps would disagree with me, but even though conquering Mount Everest, it's it's a feat of courage, of determination, but conquering the summit is only a minor part of what you are gaining as you are climbing to the top of Mount Everest. Is the experience that you're getting, is is the change in you as a person that is the most important thing. Is not achieving, if you're doing all the things that you need to do, and unless something happens, and something sometimes happens, but you are going to get to the top. That's not the problem. The problem is what you're going to do between base camp and the top. I mean, it's like I'm gonna give you another illustration. When you go to the cemetery and you look at a tomb, then you're gonna see a date, a dash, and another date. You're going to see the birth date. You're going to see the date that the person died, and those dates really, in the whole matter that we're discussing, those dates are not really that important. But what is important is that very little dash in between, because that dash is what you are going to do with your life as you lived it. And the base camp and the summit are not as important as the journey that you're going to have between the base camp and the summit.
Absolutely. And sometimes I think when I've reached the summit, I think of the first level of the 5 levels of leadership, which is positional leadership. I've arrived. I don't need to worry about anything else. I've arrived. Well, it's not a question of I, it's a question of we. And we're broadcasting this from a leadership perspective, because I don't know how many people are going to make a decision, although somebody might decide today as a result of this broadcast that they're suddenly going to travel to Nepal and make that climb. Could be. But what we're encouraging here today is, what is your Mount Everest in your life? Where do you want to go next? What mountain do you want to climb? What is the next level that you want to achieve? And again, I've got to go back and say, you got to have a Sherpa. Stop trying to do things all by yourself.
Yeah. It's there is nothing wrong with doing things on your own. Okay, there is nothing wrong. However, when you get to that point of doing something on your own, where you come and you feel that you get stuck, that you got your feet in the mud, that you don't know, perhaps, you come to a point in your life or in your journey that is a junction, and then there are 2 roads. One to the left and one to the right. And I said it in a lesson that I did just recently. I said, when you come to that junction, you can either go on one road that would be a breakthrough, or you can go to another road and that could be a breakdown. And so what happens is that if you have the right skillful Sherpa or coach or mentor, then those professionals can work and begin walking alongside you, and they can begin to clarify the journey. They will not tell you what to do, but they will give you clarity as to and encourage you, whatever decision you want to make, to stick with that decision and see the results that would happen.
And some of the best people that we know and we associate with have coaches, even the great names that are out there. Hey, in the final seconds we have left today, as we're coming to a conclusion, what is the call to action that you want to share with everybody?
I think that the call to action would be this, that even if even if the next chapter of your life, even if the next goal that you want to achieve, even if the next dream that you want to bring into reality is something so almost impossible to achieve, don't be discouraged, because I said it so many times, and I will say it once again, you are limitless. We have not been created or designed with any kind of limitations. So whatever your dream is, whether it is to climb Mount Everest, whether it is to cross the ocean, swimming, not in a big luxury boat. If you want to do that, swimming, and you think that that is undoable and impossible, remove that thought from your mind. Everything is possible. It's just how determined and what level of preparation you're going to put into achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve. So get the right Sherpa, get the right team, get the right partner that is going to help you keeping that thinking active. And I know that throughout the journey, there are going to be times that you're going to say, what on earth am I doing? And those times may come. But when those times come, think of the journey and think of how you are changing as a human being. And when you achieve it, my goodness, you'll be able to share that experience and help so many other people with their own limitations and with their own limiting beliefs. And you'll say, if I did it, anybody else would be able to do it.
Fantastic. So I think that's a great place to come to a conclusion. I want everybody to go out there and visualize their Mount Everest that's there waiting for the conquering. And that's a great place to close.
That's exactly right. So thank you so very much. And I hope and I know that this lesson would be valuable, and then just coming back, to listen to it again. Remember that whatever you put, whatever you feed into your mind is what is going to show up in your life. And remember also this, 3 words that are very important: beliefs drive behavior. Beliefs drive behavior. Hey, thank you so very much, everyone. Thank you, Bob. And just keep making a difference in this world. Okay?
So I can go have my cookies now.
Now you can go and enjoy lunch. You went to the top of the mountain, and now just have some food over there, okay?
All right.
I hope that it doesn't get frozen.
It could be a new invention.
Hey, all the best. Bye-bye. Have a great rest of the day.
You too. Bye-bye.